Shalom, coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This is just going to be like, I'm going to talk about the wars that are stirring up. I don't know what the title is going to be for this, but it's more like a follow-up for a video I did earlier this week. Yeah, like I was going on RT News and I seen something I was talking about the sanctions that have been put on Turkey because they bought Russian S-400 missiles or weapons, missile system. So U.S. sanctions over Russian S-400s have shaken all the values of its alliance with Turkey, Ankara. Turkey has vowed to use its own weapons to defend itself after the U.S. slapped it with the sanctions for buying Russian S-400 anti-aircraft missiles. So it's almost like, you have a kid, that did something that they weren't supposed to do and you punish them, right? So they slapped these sanctions on them. But Turkey's like, Turkey doesn't care. That's what they're saying. They don't care. They're going to protect themselves, right? A punishment Ankara said had seriously diminished its relationship with Washington. So it's funny. And, anyone with eyes could see that this was going to happen. That eventually these guys, Turkey, was going to fall away from the U.S., which is Babylon. Okay, so I'm just going to read something real quick. Yeah. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. So destroying wind is those ICBM missiles, those nuclear missiles when they hit with that fire, right? That's a destroying wind. And Most High is raising up that power that he has with those winds that he's going to use from the other nations, right? Because other nations are going to fire those arrows, right, which would be the ICBM missiles on Babylon. Right, so that's a destructive wind or destroying wind. And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And it's already happening right now, right? The nations are stirring round about. Because the last time I read this article, that article, maybe it was 2 days ago or a day ago, the Turkey was saying, well, they're still with the U.S., but, they don't like what's going on, but they're not going to budge on their sense of buying these Russian missiles, right? And in the last part of that article, it said that Turkey is being pushed more to China and Russia, which is funny because China and Russia are against Babylon, right? And as I read this article, there was more interesting information that came up. All necessary measures will be taken and will be taken. Okay, all necessary measures will be taken and will be taken for the security of our country and our 83 million citizens, including air and missile defense, under a serious air and missile threat, Turkish Defense Minister Hulusi Akar said in a statement on Monday. It comes after the U.S. imposed... Let me just do something real quick. People text you when you're... Right. Slacker for that. It comes after the U.S. imposed sanctions on the Turkish presidency of defense industries and its chairman Ismail Demir on Monday in response to Turkey procuring the S-400 missile system from Russia. This sanction decision has shaken all the values of alliance between our countries. Demir told reporters on Tuesday that he did not expect the U.S. sanctions on him and the SSB to affect our relationship too much and described them as a warning. On Tuesday, Turkey received unexpected support from its neighbor Iran, who Iran are the Persians, coincidentally, right? So they bought weapons from the Russians, which are the Medes, and they got unexpected support from its neighbor Iran, which are the Persians. Despite the pair's recent disputes, with Iranian Foreign Minister Javid Zarif slamming the U.S. addiction to sanctions. So they were surprised. They came out of nowhere that Iran, you know, came to their support, right? And even this is another article. Iran stands with Turkey after U.S. slaps it with sanctions for buying Russian weapons. Right, so I'll keep reading. Verse 3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all the host. Right? So you can see that the Most High is going to cause a stir of nations to come against Babylon. Right? Okay, right here. Verse 11, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his device. Kings of the Medes, for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. And right now, the kings of the Medes are the Russians. The Russians are the one, the power, right? Right? And these other countries are joining onto the Medes, the Russians, right? Right? So you have Iran, you have Turkey now, and you have China, right? There's some other countries too, but those are the big ones. Right? So it's happening. It's happening. Right? So what I also want to go into, just read this, Matthew 24 and 24. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And he sat upon Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Because he basically said that you see these buildings here, you see these stones. At the end times, there's not going to be one stone laying upon the other. Everything will be desolate, flattened. Right. So now they're asking, so when is this going to happen? Like what are going to be the signs to let us know that this is happening? Like this is coming, the end of the world. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Yahushua Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Right? So those false prophets, right? Like the Comforter, saying that he's the God-sent Comforter. Because the Comforter is Yahushua, but he's saying basically he's Yahushua. Right? So that's a man trying to deceive you. Right? And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So that's happening right now. Right? There are some wars going on, but the rumors of war, this war is building up, right? See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to the afflicted. So these wars need to come past. They need to come to pass first, right? Before things can actually, get rolling. Right? And it's already happening. You can see, right? It's happening. Now you tell me Iran's with Turkey too, and Turkey's with Russia, and China's with Russia. So they're all together. Okay. Right? Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan condemned the punishment from the U.S. on Monday, saying Turkey expected support from its NATO ally, not sanctions. Yeah, they expected them to support them for, actually trying to protect themselves and buy weapons. But the U.S. sanctioned them because they're like, no, you can't buy weapons. You can't protect yourself. We have to protect you. Because the U.S. don't want anyone buying weapons because they're afraid. Really just a coward, that country, that spirit, the harlot, Babylon. They're scared because they know how wicked they are. They're afraid if anybody around them gains weapons, right? They're a potential threat because they are. because they know how wicked they are. Turkey purchased a long-range surface-to-air missiles in 2017, claiming that the U.S. and other NATO members had not given it the arms it required. So the other NATO members did not support Turkey in being letting it being able to protect itself by giving it weapons. It started receiving the weapons last year. Before imposing the sanctions on Turkey, Washington had excluded the country from its F-35 fighter jet program and repeatedly called for Ankara to drop its S-400 deal with Russia, claiming that the system would undermine the power of NATO and allow Russia to spy on the organization. Yeah, they're just scared. Support, not sanctions. Turkey's Erdogan dismayed at U.S. punishing its NATO ally for purchasing S-400 system from Russia. Yeah, they're scared. They're scared. So you can see what's happening, right? And that's just only that part of what was read here, right? So those wars have to happen, and then nation should rise against nation, which is happening. Famines are starting to happen. They're already happening. Pestilences are happening. Earthquakes are happening, in diverse places, right? And you can see with the C-19, that's also going to be a part in verse 9. They should then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted. So that's when, they come into your house and they take you. You get sent to the internment camps, right? Because part of the the C-19, they're gonna for them to know who has been V'd and who hasn't, you're gonna have to get a chip, which is the mark of the beast, right? And the elect are not going to take that, or the injections, right? So they're going to be delivered to these places to be afflicted, to be hurt, right? And shall kill you, right? And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And you're going to be hated from all nations, all people, people around you, all nations, because you don't want to take the V, because you don't want to take the mark of the beast, because you're prophesying on a destruction of this kingdom, right? The hopeful elect are doing that, right? Putting on judgment, keeping the law, statute, commandments to the best of your ability, right? So just like how Shai was hated, we will be hated the same way, right? For all those things, right? So I just wanted to just talk about that. There's nothing else, but this is also very interesting because I did see this coming. Most High gave me the discernment to see that, and anyone the Most High is dealing with could see this, right? But it's slowly happening. These nations are slowly surrounding Babylon. Because I remember first it was China, right? China and Russia. They're always first. Actually, it was Russia, right? Then it became China. China joined on to Russia, right? Then Iran came into the picture, right? Now it's Turkey, right? And these are the only ones that I've seen. There's maybe there's more, but that's already 4 nations against Babylon, right? They're making enemies of everybody. Nonetheless, this just shows you that the prophecies are happening and we're getting closer to the end. So you just got to keep pushing and keep working. So I hope this lesson was edifying, and showing you that, we're getting closer. So I could close out by saying, Ka halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone and to the hopeful elect, pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the 4 corners of the earth. Death and destruction to his wicked kingdom, and 2/3 as well. Kwam Yasharallah, about the ball. Shalom.